What's up, guys? Big Papa Drock back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Just wishing you all a wonderful day wherever you're at in the world. Hope things are going well for you and your family and friends. But today we are going to be doing a little live arena action, which will be my first video on live arena. And one of the things that makes it unique is that currently I'm sitting at a 100% win rate in live arena, which is pretty awesome. Surprises me. I didn't think that would be the case, but you can see here we're sitting right at 100% win rate, 60 battles fought. Now that's going to change at some point. And I've come very close to losing already a couple of times, but I thought that I could share some strategies that I've kind of seen in the first, week and a half, 2 weeks of live arena. Just things you can do to try to help your team out. So we'll go ahead and get into that. But the first thing I want to acknowledge here is I have a very, very end game account. So, this wouldn't be possible without the absurd champions that I have. And if you take a look, just to give you an idea, one of the big things here is there are a lot of +4s you see, and there's also a lot of blessings. And without a doubt, as I've moved up live arena, and again, I'm still relatively low at the moment. I've kind of been hesitant to play because I haven't lost a match yet. So I've been like, oh man, it's going to happen eventually, but hasn't happened yet. But I would say one of the big things as to why I'm winning is obviously I have a very strong count, but then also I'm making very smart decisions for the most part when it comes to playing these matches. So I wanted to share a couple tips, things that I've kind of noticed from playing. And I think the first one is speed matters. Speed matters. And in this mode, I think being able to take more turns and dictate the pace of the battle is extremely important. It's something that I've really focused on with my champions. You'll see my Sifi and my Arbiter there both have intimidating presence. And that is huge because it almost always guarantees me the chance to go first. And I think that's really important. Blessings are also super important too. And again, your most important blessings, if you have them, if you can get them, in my opinion, polymorph without a doubt. And then probably intimidating presence, because again, it lets you have a better chance of getting more turns. So in terms of the kind of champions that you're probably going to be looking to use in here, guys, I'm sure you've seen some videos covering some of them, but I'll just kind of list off my 5 favorite like nukers, and then 5 favorite support champions, stuff like that. But on the nuking side of things, I mean, without a doubt, I use Leorius a ton. I also use Harima. I think Harima is one of the overall most powerful champions in this game mode because of her passive. And also because she's defense based and therefore easier to keep alive. So Harima, without a doubt, Leorius, Taurus, if you have him. I have him, but I actually don't use him. And I'll show you my comp that I've been using so far. And then also champions like, let's see. I mean, I guess you can use Erodos, but I think single target damage dealers in this mode aren't as good as AoEs, especially if you're using speed. But the big thing here, why I like Leorius, is because you can't be controlled. He has the ability to kind of shrug off any kind of stun. And when you're facing Uko, that is important. Because the champions you're going to see most of the time, especially as you climb the ranks, without a doubt, Mighty Uko, Sifi, Duchess, Arbiter, Marichka, and then basically either Warlord or Yumiko. And I think that's kind of, at the moment, what the meta is right now. But so I figured we'll do a couple matches. I'll kind of talk through it, kind of what my strategy is, what I ban, why I ban it. Maybe we'll lose one. I've come very, very close to losing a couple. And I've faced, this is the important thing too. I've faced accounts that have higher power level than me, and I've faced accounts that have lower power level than me, and ones that are around my, my area. So it's not like I've just been beating up on low level accounts. I've faced basically everything in between. Some that are a lot higher, some that are a lot lower, some that are right around me. So again, at some point I'm going to lose the 100% win rate. It might even happen in this video, which will be fun and actually will frankly feel good. But without further ado, let's get into it. I'm in Platinum Arena, so we're ready to rock. Let's see what we got here. I'd love to know in the comments how your live arena battles have been going. Have you found it to be a fun game mode? Are you enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it? Kind of what's your situation? So right off the bat, I typically want to lead off with Arbiter or Sifi. I don't like when I have to pick first. I think it's a big advantage to picking second. So we can see here he's got 2 different speed champs. This is why I like to go kind of 2 speed boosters to ensure that I'm going to get that first turn. But usually I'll throw Harima in here because the polymorph, and then I'll throw my Sifi. Again, these are super OP strong champions, and that helps. But it's not a guarantee because team comp matters and who you ban matters. If he throws out some kind of combo where it's, you know, Yumiko or Warlord, typically I like to ban the turn or the cooldown, like those 2, over anything else, unless there's a more 2. So here we go. We have a Warlord. We have a Rhodos, very strong Rhodos there, which is something to keep in mind. So now I'll lead with Leorius, and then I'll throw Yumiko in there. He'll most likely ban my Yumiko. This has been the team that has carried me to the 100% win rate. And I'll get into why after the match. So here he's got a Taurus, right? So this is something to keep in mind. So we got to really think about this. Do we want to ban the Taurus? Do we want to ban the Warlord? We'll probably ban my Yumiko. I'm comfortable banning just the Warlord. So he banned my Harima. All right, interesting. Not a bad decision by his part. The Harima basically negates his Rhodos. This is why she's so strong. Rhodos A3 barely hits for anything when you've got Harima on your team. So we go first always. Got to hope that we don't get feared. We got the fear, but it's okay because we've got the Yumiko, and that's the nice thing about this specific team. I'm always going first, and I'm either shutting them down or I'm making it very hard for them to kill me. Now, this is where we kind of have to hope for a little RNG help because we don't want to end up getting destroyed by Rhodos. There you go. Team wipe. I swear to God, it's harder than this usually for me. I just got lucky there. But let's talk about why I chose the champions that I did. So I think a lot of people are very afraid of Taurus Marichka. And again, I have a Taurus and I have 2 Marichkas, but I don't use them as often in this mode because I they're very good and they're very hard to beat. And usually I'll ban 1 or 2, but unless you have 2 Tauruses or 2 Marichkas, both, people can take that duo out and make it a lot harder for you to kind of enact your plan. Just out of curiosity, let's see his power level. I'm sure it was pretty far below me. Yeah, so very far below me. So he didn't really stand a chance. You got to feel for the guy. I'm sure the system will match me with better people. And again, I'm still relatively low level, right? I'm sitting at 1,200 points here. I'm not at the 1,400 level yet, but I have had some really tough battles. So again, we're picking first. We're going to lead with Arbiter as speed kills. Speed, 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 always speed. We'll see what he does. I think the biggest thing with this mode is knowing who to ban is so important. And again, not everyone's going to have the crazy amount of champions that I do, right? I can pick basically any composition that I want, but honestly, I run this composition every single time. This is the comp that I run. Like I think when I was first starting out, I ran Taurus and Marichka and had a lot closer fights than when I've run this comp. And I think it comes down to speed. It comes down to taking more turns. It comes down to being able to dictate pace. Maybe you don't have maybe you should have an Arbiter, but maybe you don't have a Sifi. You know, you can use other turn meter boosters like Alessandra, things like that, but these 2 are definitely the best. For this, okay, and if you've got a Yumiko or a Warlord, I always throw one in there because it's usually a pretty consistent ban pick for them. So for this right here, I would ban Harima without a doubt, or possibly Sifi, because again, I want to slow them down. So this is tricky. So he's got a Kaimar, a Sifi, a Harima, and a Duchess here. I want to make sure I go first. I want to make sure I have the most turns. Now, my guess is his Sifi is probably his fastest champion. I could ban the Kaimar. He's got 2 with Polymorph, but I'm actually going to ban the Sifi here. The Sifi, to me, is more dangerous. And again, see, he took my speed lead, not a surprise. We'll go with the Yumiko as the lead, so we get the accuracy. Yeah, we'll go with the accuracy bonus here. This could come back to bite me because of the Polymorph on the Duchess. But let's see what we do here. So I want to go first. This is the advantage of having the super fast CFs. This is why I like to run two speed boosters. Boom. He took out my Arbiter, but now I'm sitting here with the ability to shut him down. He's not going to be able to do any damage. Again, Harima is nasty and basically makes Rhodos into a joke, right? I'm going to sleep his Rhodos just to be safe. Hit it with that. Let's come for the Kymar. Kymar can be really dangerous, and now this is where we want to kind of try to ensure. I'm going to go for the Harima because I think I can take her out. I did, and now we get the bonus passive, and now we're controlling the Duchess, and this is a win. Again, speed, 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 speed. This can be a challenging team composition, what he threw at me, if you are not faster. If you are faster, you are winning the vast majority of the time, even with Polymorph. I could get Polymorph here, I could have all sorts of bad things happen. But it all comes down to speed. Do another. And again, I have an OP roster. All right, this guy isn't even level 100, so this should be a pretty easy win for me, depending on what his comp is. Comp is the big equalizer, right? If you see that your opponent is trying to do one thing, you got to think about how to counter it. What can you do? What are the ways to counter it? Again, I think speed is one of the best ways to counter anything because you're getting more turns. But then again, there are ways to counter speed, you know? So, Valkyrie. If you have enough Cupidus and Venuses, you could do that too. So he's got a Mortu and a Warlord. Gonna roll on down here, same thing. Rinse and repeat. This comp, in my opinion, is the best in the game. Or, so far. Maybe that changes as I get to the upper echelons. And again, 2 Tauruses, 2 Marichkas, things like that could be pretty tough to face. But you can pretty much take out duos if you need to. So Mortu is a really scary champion because he's going to be built in Stone Skin. He has the ability to knock me out, to immediately put a champion down for good. So usually I'm going to ban a Mortu. And we want to go with a turn, or with a cooldown. You have Warlord, if you have Yumiko, almost always throw him in there, in my opinion. Because for them, it's usually going to be an easy ban. If they don't ban her, because of the speed, she just goes in there, she shuts everything down. Yumiko for this comp, not necessarily the best, because again, Mortu kind of counters her. But I'm probably going to ban the Mortu here, which could be dangerous. Let's see who he picks as the nuker. Picks Baron. So Baron is kind of scary, honestly. That ability to ignore all the defense can really, really, really come into play. I might regret this, but I'm gonna ban the Mortu. I'm gonna ban the Mortu. So he left. This is so strange to me. He left the Yumiko up. I'm really surprised by that. I thought for sure he would ban the Yumiko. Interesting. I wonder if he's all in Stone Skin. I think other things you can do in this mode to be tricky is do some kind of high resist comps. So maybe a high resist Warlord so that people don't shut you down, or a high resist Kymar could really come into play here. Again, we shut her down. I don't even remember. Did they have Polymorph? I don't remember. All right. Looking pretty good. And you can't take anything for granted, though. You'll notice I've gotten 6 turns before he's even taken 1. This is why I'm such a believer in this comp, because you are just shredding people before they have a chance to do anything. I'm already back around, and I build these champions fast. Even my nukers are not slow. But I'm already back around, and I'm able to hit again. Right? Big. See what we do here. Stone's Necrit, kind of a pain in the ass. He shouldn't be able to one-shot anyone. Baron's A1 is very dangerous, though, because he can get that bonus damage. So he doesn't have Sky Piercer on deck. But if he gets that A1, so he actually might be able to now with that ally attack. He could really do some damage here. This could be bad. Here comes the Baron. He should A1 me. If he A1s, that's the thing to do. It's going to be a big hit. Huge hit. That's why Baron's kind of scary too. But again, with 2 rezzers, we can bring everybody back. And we're already taking more turns, and he's left. OP roster, I know, but I think this is something you can apply to what you're doing in your fights. And again, it's just about substituting the champions that you have. Let's keep going here, see what we got. I hate picking first. Such an advantage to pick second. Duchess Python, so he's going pretty tanky. Again, same comp. I'm not even going to change it. There's no reason for me to. Once I start losing, like once I'm off the 100% win rate, then I'll do some other comps. But once, I stumbled upon this, and this for me works the best. So I'm going to stick with this comp until we get to a point where I'm losing battles, and then I'll start messing around, having fun, not caring about the win rate. But I'm curious as to how far I push it. Can I get to 75 wins? Can I get to 100 wins without losing one? I highly doubt it, but let's find out, right? We're getting some pretty soft matchups right now as well. So we're getting relatively lucky. In this showcase, I've had a lot tougher matchups in terms of power level of the people I'm facing. And I came so close to losing against one guy who had a Georgia. I think Georgia, that was the nuker I forgot to mention as well. Georgia is really good in this mode. Okay, so he's thrown a Torment in there. He's got a Python. He's got a Tundra, or a Trunda, not a Tundra, he's got a Tundra. He's got a Toyota Tundra. I don't necessarily need to ban the Torment, but I'm going to make this easier because he'll probably ban my Sifi. Yep, sure enough. This is the other thing too. Think about who they're going to ban on your team. He's throwing out a Torment. He's trying to counteract my Sifi. So if I take this out, I know he's going to take my Sifi. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? He's left me the ability to shut him down now, and with the ability to get lots of turns because I have an Arbiter Speed Aura on. And again, blessings really, really matter in live arena. They're a huge differentiator between winning and losing. Shut them all down again. Didn't get sheeped. This is right here is why, assuming we get this kill, this is why Harima is so good. This A2, because it goes right into that AoE. Now we got Polymorph though. See, this is where it can get a little tricky. But thankfully, Trunda is shut down. Might have gotten Polymorph there, but I wanted to stick the Hex just in case there's any kind of attack down from the Necrit. Strong. Okay. Yeah. Arbiter might die here. Yep. So we got to really make this count. Soul Reap, such a good blessing as well. Now I'm stunnable, so this is where it gets a little tricky, right? My Harima's not back up, but this is why Yumiko can be so strong. Polymorph's still a really, really, really powerful blessing in this mode. Like just insanely good. My Leorius is going to die here for sure. So this is going to come down to my Harima. And this is where you want speed. He's not going to be able to get a second turn. I don't know why he did that. That makes no sense. He should have killed my Leorius, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Say goodnight. All right, on we go. Let's do another. I don't know if this is helpful for you. I know I have an in-game account. I know it's one of those things where it's kind of hard if you're the mid-game or early game player to try to relate to the kind of content that I put out because it is mostly end-game based. If you have an end-game account, you can definitely learn a lot from this, I think. I kind of didn't want to make this video because I have had so much success and I don't want people copying my methods. But again, it requires having specific champions, having blessings. But I think the big takeaways here, look at your roster and then figure out how you can speed tune it so that you're getting more turns and dictating pace and dictating the outcome of your battles. Leorius, there we go. If you like this content, by the way, let me know down in the comments if this is helpful for you. I hope it is. If it's not helpful, then I guess let me know that too, and I won't do another video like this. But I think it's always fun, no matter what, to see kind of how people do in live arena. And again, we've gotten really soft matchups tonight, which is very surprising. They need to work on their matchmaking system, I think, a little bit more because I should be technically getting a lot tougher matchups in this. All right. Risk, Tormund, Mithrala, Cardial. Interesting. I mean, I guess I'm just going to ban the Tormund. Chris can do damage, but I'm not super worried about it. The one thing with Chris that can be tricky is the fact that he can apply those debuffs. So decrease defense, decrease attack, and that can really make it tough to kind of, get your team comp going. He might be also trying to stall me. Very possible. But with 2 nukers, I should be able to get through, especially because I've got the increased attack. This is the other thing that I like about having Sifi and Arbiter on the same team, is that it allows me to guarantee that I'm getting increased attack on one of my champions, or I'm getting like a buff for one of them, right? Like I'm running a defense-based nuker and I'm running an offense-based nuker. They can't ban both my Arbiter and my Sifi. I'm going first, and I'm getting those buffs that increase the attack or the defense of my respective nukers. And again, in a game where polymorph is so persistent and you can't debuff anymore without really being afraid of bad things happening, that's super powerful. There you go. There's another win. This is just boring to watch me just destroy teams. I mean, holy hell. Okay, you get the drift. We'll do a couple more. Why not? We'll do one more. Maybe this is the one we lose. Why not? Let's do it. One more. I'm fighting people in the same arena points system as I'm at, where I'm at, but I think these guys are lower player power. We'll take a look afterwards. None of these have felt super threatening in terms of getting close to beating me. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen sooner rather than later, but maybe we can hit 75 wins. Maybe we can get 100 wins before we lose one. And I think that'd be so cool if we can make that happen. I have to say, I really enjoy Live Arena so far. It's not perfect, and I think they really need to add an ability to face your clanmates, scrimmage with your friends. If they do that, then I think this game really takes off again and kind of shoots back up. But for the first iteration, this is something that Raid desperately needed. Raid really, really, really needed this. It was lacking. Okay, so this is tricky. So he's got a speed booster. He's got a warlord. He could shut me down. And he has a baron, which could potentially kill me. This might be a necrit that he picks at the end there. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. Actually, no, it needed to be another nuker. So this should be, maybe this is Leorius, maybe a Rhodos. Normally I would ban Warlord here, would be the typical ban that I would do, just to make sure he can't shut me down. I'm not worried about him outspeeding me because he can't ban both my Arbiter and my CP. So, yep, Leorius. So we're going to go ahead and ban the Warlord. He should ban my Yumiko. Nope, he banned my Harima. That's not a bad pick either, though. Again, her passive is so strong in this, and she is, without a doubt, I think, the #1 nuker in this game mode. You can make an argument for Taurus, but I don't know. Single target, I think, isn't as useful here, because especially if you throw a Taurus out, then someone's more likely to throw a UDK out, and that gives them kind of the advantage of, being able to dictate what you ban. I'm going to actually save that Whirlwind so that when Leorius gets his turn, I can potentially... Oh, we didn't actually... So he's got reaction on big time. Big reaction. But he's also got True Fear, which is helpful. Hopefully we get one more turn and we can take him down to make that debuff come up. It didn't yet. The other thing about putting nukers in Stone Skin is that it seems like a good idea, and I think it can work sometimes, but the problem is their Stone Skin isn't going to be very strong. We can now sleep this Leorius. So now he doesn't get a turn at all. Again, that's why Sifi is so powerful. I'm not even going to use the AoE attack. We're just going to do that. We take away his buff because he's probably got low resist. We kill him. Now we go full auto. So at this point, the match is over. Now he might stall. Thankfully, he's not. So just a matter of time. And we just finish it off here. I'm taking so many turns to his one turn. Speed, man. Speed, 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 speed. Cool. Let's take a look at what we just fought. So we're now at 66, 100% win rate. 12 million, so pretty far below me. 13, far below me. 16, surprising. This guy's got to be way below me. 8.3. 20. This guy was at 20 million. So he was pretty close to me in power level. That's really shocking. And then we saw him earlier, 8 million. So again, all of these people were below me in player account power, right? For some reason, it deletes your battles, which is annoying because I really wish I could show you some of the other stuff that I've faced and that I've seen. But we didn't have anyone super hard that go around. As I get into silver, as I get into gold, that will change without a doubt. But I hope this was helpful for you. Again, I know I have an endgame account. I know that's not going to apply to everyone, but I do think gearing your team for speed, so you're taking more turns, thinking about what to ban, and personally, I would put their turn meter, shutdown. I would put that number one, or not turn meter, but their skill cooldown champions. I would ban that almost always above anything else, with the exception of potentially a Taurus or Marichka, if you can't go fast enough, if you're not getting both of your speed boosters across. So these are just my thoughts. That's just been my experience. Like I said, I hope this was helpful for you. We'll check back in a week or so and see if I'm still undefeated or kind of where we're at. Again, I expect to start losing very soon. I've come close already, but tonight we had a lucky night and we got some relatively easy matchups. Only a couple people around me in player power. So anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought and what you want to see next. And yeah, as always, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you soon. All right, Big Papa Drock, out.